Hello, and welcome to Is It Made in America Still? On today's podcast, we talk with Stephen Matthews, the sales manager for the Perfect Bungee. So, the Perfect Bungee is a brand that is made by our company, Beeler of America, and one of its sub companies, Beeler Flex. We talked to Steve about bungee cords and bungee straps and making them here in the USA and what it means to us to make these products here in the USA. We talk about some of the different products that are available at the Perfect Bungee. We talk about where the other products, our competitors, are made in the other places of the world and why maybe we shouldn't buy them from other places in the world and maybe what some of the consequences of that are. And it's not to belittle anybody. Let me just put that out there. So, anyway, please enjoy our first episode of Is It Made in America Still? All right. We got Stephen Matthews here. Steve is the sales manager for Beeler Flex, manufacturer of the Perfect Bungee, Jersey Dogco, Shock Strap products, OEM manufacturing, as well of polyurethane products. Beeler Flex is a division of Beeler of America. We started Beeler Flex in 2000 and I don't remember. Do you remember, Steve?
It's at least 15 years old.
Okay,
So that's 2010 at least. I think it was around 2010 that it was established.
cool. So I wanted to start off with this episode because this is one of the products family groups that we make here in New Jersey through the Beeler group of companies. It's held near and dear to my heart. My uncle, my grandfather's business partner, Wilgen Schoon, rest in peace. Um, he wanted to have a product that we made here in the US and we sold outward, right? We went B2B, we went B2C, something we can kind of control ourselves at the end of the day when it came to marketing and sales and dollars made. Um, he came across an opportunity to start manufacturing these products for another company here in New Jersey. And long story short, we ended up owning the company and growing the company. We used to make the products here in Alpha, and then we moved it into its own building in North Branch a couple of years ago. And yeah, it's been good having its own space there, kind of keeping it separate from all the metal stamping, metal forming, assembly work we're doing here at Beeler of America. But that was kind of the idea of us taking over Beeler Flex and renaming it from being called just Stucky Products. Name is kind of wild. So we came up with the idea to rename the company and rename the product line, call it the Perfect Bungee. No one else was utilizing that name, so we took an opportunity to cash in on that. Um, so we at Beeler Flex pride ourselves on continuing to make our products here in the U.S. And I think we're the only brand of bungees made here in the US. What do you think, Steve? Is that still the case these days? I'm kind of far removed from bungee land at this point, but
Yeah, there we are. I would safely say that we are the top polyurethane bungee manufacturer in the country. So only ones making them in the US like that. There are some of those other brands, some companies making some EPDM or rubber made in USA bungees, but again, they're your traditional rubber bungees that you're used to, and the material is still pretty much the same as to what you would buy overseas. It's not that much more uh, durable, so to say, than the competition of a overseas rubber bungee cord, where ours is just that much more durable and sustainable because of the material, the unique material that we craft our products from.
and you just touched on something really strong there, the sustainability of the products. So one of the cool things about supporting Made in USA and making things here in the USA is, um, let's say these are being made in Connecticut and you're in New Jersey and you bought some of these products. You know that they're just coming from Connecticut, right? Like, at least in the finished goods state, right? Like, hey, these are made somewhere in Connecticut. It's 100 miles from here. Great. There's not a lot of emissions that have been emitted to get from point A to point B.
Hmm.
The likelihood that the base material is probably also made in the USA is the I think the base
Ours
material.
is,
Yeah,
yeah, all our so even our raw goods are all sourced domestically in the United States. So our products are top of the line, 100% made in the USA, which is something that we can brag about where a lot of other people can't.
yeah, that's awesome. I think that's really cool, and to kind of build on that, those companies then get to hire people because the fact that they're selling material to people here in the US. So it's kind of like this trickle effect, right? This snowball effect. So we place orders with these other American companies who, um, obviously are
Buy their
think,
raw goods from someone sourcing those raw materials, and then there's a company that's turning them into the finished, or not the finished, but the material that we then buy. So yeah, like you're saying, there is a lot of trickle down economics for that made in USA, backing more jobs than just what we have here in our factory. Like you're touching on, you get the made in USA jobs from the people we buy it from, and the jobs, supporting jobs from the people that they get those goods from too. So there's a lot of made in USA support just from this one bungee cord, more so than what the average consumer might realize. You might just think, like you were saying, you're buying it right from here from the guy in New Jersey or Connecticut, but there's so much more to it as well. So many more hands that are and people that it involves and supports than just our factory and company itself.
and the other cool thing when we think about the greenhouse emissions. So when you buy or when you go to like a Home Depot or a Lowe's and you buy a product like another bungee from Home Depot or Lowe's and you look at where it's made, it's China, Asia, Far East. Think about the lack of regulation that those countries have when it comes to manufacturing, right? It's kind of no one gives a crap, right? It's just it
Yeah.
is what we know. China's the biggest polluter in the world, and they could care less.
Hmm.
Um, we also know that they don't care about human rights. They don't care about workers' rights. But anyway, we buy it locally, right?
Yeah.
And then, but what we don't see is all of the lack of efficient production, the lack of regulation, the lack of quality standards. There are no quality standards
Hmm.
um, that are going into these products. But then you think about it's got to go from all the way on the other side of the world to here.
Yeah.
And they're going to buy a container, the massive containers full of these cheap made products made by kids for all we know, right? Which would be a bummer.
It would be.
And and coming all the way across, wasting all of that fuel. It's
Yeah.
insane to me. Whereas the retailer could have bought this product from this company here in the US.
Yep.
Sure, maybe spent a little bit more,
Right.
but it's no longer a commodity. This is a product that you buy it once and it sees multiple seasons. It sees multiple years, unlike your standard EPDM
Or shock cord style
shock.
bungee. Yeah, like the round cords even. Those are the biggest offenders I feel people are most used to, right? The coated bungee cords. And yeah, they don't hold up. We like you said, we have quality measures in place that we test our products, we test our materials regularly to make sure that they're still adequate and holding up to our high level standards that we place on our items and our products to make sure that you, the customer, gets a quality product that is going to last and holds up to the claims that we make on it.
Why do you think why do you think these retailers and consumers still choose to support these products coming from overseas? What do you think it is? Is it
Hmm.
education? Is it cost? Like, what do you
I think
think it
there's
is,
a lot
Steve?
of there could be a lot of things, I think at the end of the day, you could equate most of it to bottom line and money in someone's pocket to spend on quality goods. Unfortunately, right now, it is difficult for a lot of people in our country to be able to afford, a higher priced item. So they kind of have to just default to that lesser quality. But I also feel that a lot of it has to do
But like,
with
how much is the
education.
difference? Like, what is the difference? So if we're talking about
Well,
like, all right, so here's one of our bungees, right? Here's one of the perfect bungees. So this is a, what is this? This is like an 18-inch cord,
mhm,
right?
yeah.
So
We retail that we have a suggested retail on that cord for I believe it's like a $7 retail on that bungee cord. And yeah, that might be two times more than a bungee cord made overseas, but our bungee cord is going to last you 10 times longer. So I mean, even though your upfront investment is more, your long-term investment is better. And that's part of the education that we try to um, express to our customers and everything, that you're getting a quality product that's going to last you. You're not going to spend 350 every 6 months, and by the end of the year, you've spent $50 on bungee cords when you could have spent $20 on the same quantity and had the same ones for 5 years plus
yeah,
or more.
my neighbor, when we moved into our new house, and I told my neighbor, hey, these are some of the things we make. These are some of the things we do. He's like, oh man, let me try some. He's like, because I break them all the time. He's got a
Yeah,
side by
that's
side, and he's
that's
going
the
out
famous line. I break these
wheeling,
all the time.
and he's just like, oh, it's just a bungee. I just replace them a couple times. I just buy a pack of 50 of them, box of 50 of them, and I just throw a new one on every time. I'm like, dude, try these
Yeah,
because yeah, okay, it's twice the price of one, but see what happens. He lost his shit. He couldn't believe that the hooks held.
right.
He couldn't believe that it didn't just get stretched out after one day on the trails.
Yeah.
And it lives on his side by side. And he's like, dude, the elasticity is still there. He
Yeah,
just,
it's pretty amazing.
and it's like, to me, I don't know, especially if we're talking about economy and you're like, all right, I'm gonna buy something. It might be, but I want it to last, right? I don't want to keep just buying something and throwing it out because it keeps
Hmm.
failing. Like, to me, this is a this is better at the end of the day.
Yeah, maybe even perfect, right?
Boom.
But boom,
So looking at this bungee, Steve, I mean, I know everything there is to know about these, right? I
sure.
right. So tell me about the hooks. So for viewers and people listening, the cool thing about the Perfect Bungee is everything that is a cord or an adjustable bungee, the hooks are 9 out of 10 times, depending on the product, molded into the bungee itself, right? So
Yeah,
for
on
those
our
of you
products. Yep.
watching, you can see this is molded in. For those of you listening, this is a hook with the polyurethane wrapped around the bottom of the hook, right? So it's got this
Yeah.
tight bond.
Yeah, and it's not just like a straight little post on the bottom of the hook. We specifically crafted the anchor, you would call it, on the hook where the polyurethane fills around it, and it is just like an anchor. It's like a 4-point anchor with extra barbs on it, so that that poly can really form and attach and adhere to the base of that hook. Um, like I said, we've been making these since 2010. We've never had a reported case of a hook pulling out of one of our bungees, and I think that's very impressive. That we to be able to say that we've never had a hook pull out.
But have you
You
seen
know,
them break? I mean,
a
things
hook,
break. Yeah, hooks break,
of
right?
course, yeah, yeah. So these black hooks on our cords and some of our adjuster straps are not just a plastic hook or a metal coated hook like you're used to seeing. These are actually a glass reinforced nylon. So they're extremely durable and strong, but also non-marring so they don't scratch. And while that's great that there's no metal core, it does leave open a gap for user error. But they feel, we're spoiled with bungees because we're used to metal hook bungees. So we constantly, not we as the perfect bungee, but we as consumers, we're going to misuse those hooks. A hook is always supposed to be anchored by the bend of the hook. You're never supposed to secure against the tip or
So like
put pressure against it.
not here, but
Yep, not there, and not
in the
even
middle.
at the, yep, right there where your finger is, but and then not even pulling, not just the tip, but sometimes you don't realize you're pulling against the tip, and it's still, yeah, like more so if you curved your thumb in a little bit too, that can, be a way where, yeah, right there, you're gonna attach to an odd anchor point on what you're trying to do because not everything's perfect. We get it,
Mhm.
but that could cause these hooks to fail when used improperly. The cool thing is that we offer a lifetime warranty at the Perfect Bungee. So if you break a hook, even though it's technically not a manufacturing defect, which is what our warranty covers, we still take care of you and replace that bungee for you because mistakes happen and they don't happen very frequently, so we can still accommodate our customers with those types of warranty requests. But it's all, again, goes back to educating and training and letting the people know the differences, the common misconceptions of our products versus every other product out there on the market. Because we're so unique and so different, it just gets confused and lumped in with, like I said, the other products, the EPDM, the shock cord bungees, the metal hook, the metal coated.
So like this isn't EPDM, this isn't rubber, it's not
Yeah, this
latex,
isn't
it's not shock
silicone.
cord, it's
Right.
not silicone, right? So this is
Yeah.
polyurethane.
Yep.
So what are some of the benefits that this material has over the other materials that you mentioned?
Sure, sure. So our polyurethane, especially crafted, it's a secret sauce, so to say, the what we do to blend the uh, materials that we use. And what that polyurethane has is it has enhanced UV stability. It's chemical, fuel, and oil resistant. It's waterproof, both salt and fresh water. And it has great memory or elasticity, or as we call it here, it has no fatigue or bungee blowout. You're not going to stretch this bungee and get it to its recommended stretch distance where we beat everyone else, by the way. Our stretch rate is 100% elongation, 2 times stretch. So an 18-inch cord will go to 36 and more and come back to 18 without any, like I said, bungee blowout or fatigue, right? You're not going to overstretch it and it stops working. Shock cord bungees, EPDM bungees, they're they can blow out on that first pull. And there you go. You've already need a new bungee cord. But the polyurethane's memory retention um, makes it always come back. So it's also, like I said, UV stable because the polyurethane holds up better to UV than traditional rubber or shock cord will. And we add additional UV stabilizers to our secret sauce to enhance that UV stability.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. I mean, yeah, because think about it. You're driving down the road and we see bungees all over the road
Hmm.
and they're like shriveled up. It looks like a worm that's been out in the sun, right? It's
Yeah,
like
you
all
see that
shriveled
that
up.
sleeve comes off and you see the inside that's like its
Yeah.
guts are hanging out basically.
Yep. You see them, the like rubber, the EPDM ones. So EPDM is like a synthetic rubber for those who don't know. That's
Yeah.
what it is. You see those again, like the other ones shriveled up on the side of the road with like a hook. That's just absolutely mangled. And a metal hook, right? So something
Hmm.
like that, but different. Like what sets so this is the flat strap version, right, of
Yeah, it's our heavy duty strap
cord.
right there. Yep.
So like why would I buy this over that? I mean, look, there's significant differences, right? Like you've got
Sure.
this nylon glass filled molded in hook cord. Yeah, the color is great too, super vibrant, so you can see it, which is really nice.
Yeah, yep.
Versus your typical looking bungee strap, but perfect bungee. So why would you buy this one versus the one we just
The
had in our
core.
hands? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I mean it's your use case, you have to make sure as a, whatever you're tying down, you always have to make sure it's safe and secure, right? So we make different styles and models of bungee cords, just like other manufacturers do, round cord, flat straps, and it's more for your use case scenario. And I would be using that in a heavier duty application while our cords are still heavy duty for compared to what others are and what they can handle. Our flat straps, they just have a bit more surface area, so it provides a bit more coverage or tension across what you're tying down.
Hmm.
So as well as then the metal hook, it allows you to be more abusive with that um, application when you're anchoring that, right? You can use that hook like you would improperly use another traditional bungee hook. The cool thing that we've done, because when you do that, it can lead to slippage of the hook. And so what we've done to combat that is we triangulate the backs of our hooks or pre-crimp them, so to say. They're made in our forming machine with, yeah, with that bend on them so that they will never slide out of the bungee. You'll never have a separation. So just like with our cords that have that integrated hook that'll never come out, the same thing here with our flat straps. For more of your heavy duty or even industrial commercial applications where you'd still want those metal hook flat straps.
Yeah, I mean, I remember from my band days and touring, right? You'd be at a truck stop, getting some fuel, grabbing a Snickers bar, grabbing like a super mega sized slushy, just being a total
Hmm.
POS, right?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about, Steve-O.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I didn't realize it then, but then I thought back, I'm like, man, I'd see all these, long haul truckers with flatbeds and tarps. And when you see all their bungees, all the hooks, they go and they squeeze them all, they close them.
Yeah.
Just like that. I was
Just
like,
like that.
makes
Yeah, that's a little
sense.
trick that we picked up from exhibiting at truck shows and speaking to those types of customers. Long haul truckers have been a proponent of our products for over a decade.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean it makes sense to do that, right? Because it
Yeah,
ensures that the bungee and the hook, it's less likely that they separate. I mean, yeah.
and it saves them time, as the trucker,
Hmm.
because they're gonna crimp all of those standard S hook bungees that they have because they know they're going to lose the hook, from when they take it off or however they do, however it happens to them. So they're spending more time, which is losing them money because they're
Paid
spending
by the
time on
mile.
their equipment
Yeah.
and doing 200 bungee cords times two hooks. So crimping 400 hooks. How much time does that take either you as a truck driver or the
Hmm.
guy in your yard when he could be doing more important things or loading up that load instead of crimping his bungees? So that in addition, that is another benefit and kind of hidden feature that people really overlook when looking at a perfect bungee versus your traditional bungee cord. And that's, actually we just went up to visit one of our customers in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, who uses our heavy duty straps there to secure kayaks and canoes to these trailers that they um, drive out to the Delaware River and have, customers come and
Who
paddle down
who's
the river.
uh who's the customer? Let's give them a shout out.
Yeah, they're called Adventure Sports in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. They're kayak, canoe, and raft rentals. You can take your family out, or your spouse, or your friend, or yourself, and rent one of their canoes. And they have different drop-off locations along the river, so you can choose your adventure, basically how long you want to be out. And they pop you in the river and you go down and then they pick you back up downriver. And it's a real cool just getting out there thing for people who want to do water activities but maybe don't have the equipment and stuff like that to do it themselves, so you can go rent it from them for a
That's
nominal
awesome.
fee. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. But they've been a customer of ours for at least 6 years. They found our bungee cords by chance when they were looking for you know, quality bungee cords that wouldn't keep failing on them so quickly. They have trailers that hold 8 to 12 kayaks and canoes and a combination of those on these stacked trailers that they have. And since they're just doing short little runs from their shop to the launch point, they load them up and strap them down with our bungees. And in the past, they tried shock cord bungees. They've tried buying spool of shock cord and making their own bungees, thinking that if I get a thicker shock cord, it'll last longer and better. And nothing worked for them until they found our products. And they typically get 4 years plus out of a batch of bungees when they buy them from us, which is really impressive when you think of how they're using them and the elements that they're exposed to 24/7, 365.
Mhm.
They're out right here in Pennsylvania, so we've got all the sun, all the heat, all the humidity, and then all the cold, all the rain, all the snow. They're in the Pocono Mountains, so it gets all the weather.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, truly
these
all four seasons, right?
yeah, and these trailers sit outside 365, 24/7, and
Hmm.
they're exposed to all those elements, and they're stretched in those elements all the time, holding those boats down, because
Mhm.
even in the off season they have to secure those vessels on those trailers, for winds and storms and such like
Mhm.
that. So they're always stretched, and it's a testament to just how well they last and how long they last, and how well they hold up in all those extreme conditions. And even they commented on the the pre-bent hook that we put into those bungees, and how it saves them time,
Hmm.
because they would go and crimp bungees. Now they don't have to. So
That's
it really
awesome.
helps them in their bottom line. They're a small organization, family-owned company, so every all the time that they can save saves them money.
Yeah,
That's
I
more
mean, one
time
of
they can have
the
someone on the river than spending time crimping hooks.
so one of the taglines we've used for the last decade is the bungee reinvented. And I think that still reigns true. We took the bungee, which was invented in the 70s, and reinvented it. Not only with the type of material that we use, but the other aspects, the hook,
Yeah.
materials, the color. I don't have an adjuster strap with me, but we have two adjuster straps that
I don't have a colored one, but I have a black one right here of
oh,
our
perfect.
48. I don't know why my blur is on. I thought I shut it off. But um yeah, here's one of our 48-inch adjusted straps.
Yeah. So
So
talk to us about that because I mean again, I'm 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 back to being like a user of our own products, right? Like I'm not involved in day to days. I'm not doing sales with Perfect Bungee anymore. Like I I use them and I'm biased, right? Because
yeah,
like I helped create a lot of these products and um was boots on the ground out there selling, promoting, getting feedback. And so again, I'm biased. I think this product and our 36 inch are the bee's knees as well as the
yeah,
flex web. And we'll drop like some pictures and stuff like that in the video for people to
right.
see, but talk us through the adjust strap.
Yeah. Well, so we've got, as you said, we've got here, let me grab the other one real quick.
Okay. So the cool thing is, guys, like again, made in USA, made by people locally, right? So the Perfect Bungee, they're made in Somerset County, New Jersey. So if you can imagine, yeah, small company, maybe employs 20 to 30 people, but that's 20 to 30 people that have a good job with benefits, salary, 401k, dental, vision, all the things. It's important. It's important, and
Yeah.
I will stand on my soapbox every day and say manufacturing here in the US is just so important. And I know some people, I don't know why they argue against it. I don't understand, but
I think it's greed and capitalism, but anyways.
that's what they argue against, right? They're like, oh, it's, people that have these companies that are greedy, capitalism, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you're saying that from an iPhone, which without capitalism wouldn't exist.
Yeah,
And I know there's levels to it, right? Like I know that there's good capitalism, there's bad capitalism, there's people that take advantage of people, there's people that take
right.
advantage of systems, but
That's
I
the
can
yeah.
I can say truly as a 100% family-owned company, like the door has always been open at Bueller Flex. The door has always been open at the Perfect Bungee for our employees, for our customers. There's no smoke and mirrors. This is what you get. Like when I was going to shows, I was stoked to meet people that were our customers. I
Yeah.
was out on a bike ride the other day and I rode past the dude and he goes, "Yo, aren't you the dude, the bungee guy?" And I was like, "What's up, dude?" And he's like, "You talked to me one day at Home Depot about your
Too
bungees and I bought
funny.
a bunch." I was like, "Dude, that's so cool." So, Steve's more that guy now, but like it's cool to be able to have a name and a face association with the product
Totally.
and know that when you call, when you email, when you contact us through Instagram or whatever, Steve's one of the people who are actually reading all the emails and responding. I still read the emails. I may not respond, but I still see them,
Hmm.
or Miranda see them,
Yeah,
seeing
that's
them.
actual people that
It's
are,
real people, not bots.
yeah.
Like you're not just a random ticket number. So anyway, sorry, Steve, you got the adjust strap now.
Oh yeah. So I mean, as to what you were saying, I do agree. I think our adjust strap is the bee's knees. Here's our 36 inches, our bread and butter adjusted strap. We've had this one for the longest time. Um, 36-inch overall length, hook to hook. Now, that's one thing. Let me sidetrack a little bit. We measure hook to hook. All of our lengths are from the hook to the hook across. Normal bungee cord, you're going to see a lot of bungee cords. They're a 13-inch or a 15-inch or a 21-inch and a 31-inch. And they're just referring to the length of the bungee. And that's because there's really no standard unit of measure for bungee cords. So being who we are and reinventing and evolving on products, we decided to give you the actual true length of the bungee cord so you know what you've got hook to hook. Why would I want to know how big the bungee is itself if the hooks are longer, make it longer or shorter or what have you. So that's one of the things how we measure, just to say that. But so this 36-inch adjust strap is great because of its versatility and adjustability, right? It's got 6 pre-molded slots along the strap, so you can take this, hook it onto your one side, pull it around your gear, and then if you need to shorten it because this hook is too long, you can wrap it around or over through a rail or something like that, and then make it shorter. So instead of having to carry all the different lengths of the bungee cords like we were reviewing earlier, and never knowing what size you need, the adjusted strap is every size every time. It's kind of like the Goldilocks. It's never too big, it's never too small, it's always just right. And the only thing that this 36-inch adjusted strap couldn't do was be shorter hook to hook. And I mean, it kind of could, but it was limited a little bit. And so when we were, you know, hitting the lab and doing some research and figuring out what our next new product should be, we said, well, we should make another adjustable bungee. And we went back and
Mhm.
forth, but should it be longer or shorter? And we ended up on longer because it's always better to be bigger. Go big or go home. So we decided to go with a 48-inch adjusted strap. And instead now of doing it with that molded in hook, here's an example of a packaging of a variation that you could get of the 48-inch. Was actually available in Lowe's. You might be able to find some of them in some of those select
Cool.
Lowe's stores. So you
Very
can
cool.
search for the Perfect Bungee at your local Lowe's. This 2-pack and a 4-pack of the 36-inch adjust strap also available there. But when we made the 48, we said, hey, let's make it bigger. Let's give you more holes for more adjustability. And let's do removable hooks.
Ooh.
So now you can make a shorter hook to hook bungee
Hmm.
and not
So those
have
look like the
to.
metal ones.
Yeah, so we did model the nylon hook. Again, this is a glass filled nylon, just like our polycord hooks. Um, but this is modeled after the metal hooks with the pre-molded in bend to prevent slippage. So as you see here, just like you can put it in on the main side to have a 48-inch overall
Okay.
and lock it in.
Yep.
But when you need a shorter hook to hook bungee now, you don't have to, we'll always rely on wrapping it back around on itself
Dude, I've seen people tie like 1,000 knots in a
to
bungee
make them
cord to
shorter and
shorter.
to, yeah.
It's like, come on, man.
And it's ruining the integrity of the product. It's not going to
Sure.
operate the same way as it's
Sure.
supposed to and as it's intended to. So, to alleviate any of that, we've made it now with the hook to hook option where you can make a shorter hook to hook bungee by taking this pre-bent hook and putting it along the strap in any of these holes.
Hmm.
to make a shorter hook to hook bungee down to 9 inches hook to hook,
Oh wow.
right?
Yeah,
And
and
then
you
you've got a
just
lot of slack. Yeah, sure. But the cool
sure.
thing, what you can do, um, is you can take the tail, right? 9 inches,
Uh-huh.
who's going to do that? And you probably indoor,
Yeah.
be safe what you're doing, right? But I'm gonna make a shorter hook to hook bungee here, and I've got this tail.
Hmm.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna have it, and I'm gonna secure it and tie it up
Ah,
like that,
that's cool. So you've got
right?
enough space to kind of double back on itself,
Exactly. So now
clean it
you're
up a little
safe.
bit.
Yep, we always have safety in mind.
Hmm.
Um, so now you don't have to worry about that long tail getting caught somewhere if you have an open trailer, open truck bed, and whatever you're
You
tying
may not
down.
want it flapping out there in the wind as well,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
banging into things. Totally get it. Totally get it. So the other thing that
Yeah.
comes to mind too with these nylon glass beaded hooks versus the metal is like you're less chance of scratching paint,
Yeah.
wood, metal with
Mm-hmm.
the nylon versus the metal. Do
Exactly.
does the color rub off at all on these, Steve?
No, actually, we that is a question that we do get periodically, if there's any um rub marks or wear, like you would see, or does it leave a residue if it gets too hot or anything like that? And I'm happy to say that no, there's no color transfer. There's no rub marks that'll be left, no scuffing from the bungee cord itself. They don't get all tacky and sticky from being left out in the sun or the heat, so they won't leave your hands all sticky and gross. The bungee stays intact. It's pretty amazing.
I can attest to that. I have some in my carport shed thing that are close to 10 years old now, and yeah, some of them look pretty beat up, change color after a while. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
had some fail. It's
sure.
they're old at this point, right?
And to be
Compared
honest,
to
at the end of the day, it's
compared.
still a consumable product.
Mhm.
You're still gonna need to replace it. It's just we make a more durable, longer lasting, more sustainable, better product for
Yeah,
you. That's intended to last and last longer.
sure. Pay a little bit more, but you get 3 or 4 times the life out of it, and it's safer to
Hmm.
use. Like one of the ways I like to use my adjusted straps is if you've got a tie down point, right? But if I'm worried about the hook slipping off that tie down point, a lot of times I'll wrap it through the tie down point and back onto itself. And I'll
Hmm.
close that loop, right? So I'm not just relying on tensions always being on the hook.
Yeah, yeah. That's the coolest
Instead,
thing about the adjusted strap is you never have to use a hook. You
right.
can always make a soft loop basically like you would on a motorcycle tie down strap
Yep.
and anchor yourself with that to make sure that you have a properly seated attachment point,
Hmm.
without having to worry about any hook slipping or once you relieve the tension, it falling off. Maybe you're on a watercraft, a ski doo, a
Dude,
boat, and you.
so I met a guy once at a trade show for the Perfect Bungee who lost his eye to a
Yeah.
bungee. He saw this. He's like, no, no, no. It's like I stay as far away from these things as possible. It's like, why? And he flicked his eyeball. Went bing, bing. I was like, whoa, oh my god, dude.
Oh man.
I was like, is it too traumatic to have a conversation about what happened? He's like, no, it's cool. Like, he's like, I use bungees on my mailbox to like go
Hmm.
up and over to help, because kids are crazy and they come through and
Yeah,
they smash
sure.
mailboxes. Yeah, okay, cool,
Bad
whatever.
drivers, yeah.
Bad drivers, all the things, right? I was like, oh man, I'm really sorry. He's like, yeah, so one day I was you know repositioning the mailbox and I took the bungees off and I was putting it back on and as I was stretching the other side I went woo boom right in the eye. I was like, I almost threw up. It was
Yeah.
just the thought of that, man, was just so
God.
gnarly.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm really sorry. He's like, yeah. So as we kind of like talked through it a little bit, I was like, well, kind of like what we were just talking about. It's like, hey, in the future, if you have an eyelet there, take the adjuster strap. And I gave him an adjuster. I was like, try this. It's like loop
Yeah.
it through it back onto itself. Because here's the thing, when you do that and you close that loop, you don't have to worry about it coming back at you. You don't
Right.
have to worry about it like slipping a little bit and Like you're on one side of the car, you're stretching open over the roof basket. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
please, 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 please. And then like once you get it hooked on, you're like, whoo, I'm safe.
Yep.
I'm safe. And it's the same when you take it off too, because you're like,
Yeah.
I hope so. Like it's scary. So I
Could be.
love
Yeah.
it's just like a utilitarian product. It's to me, it's more than just a bungee cord. It almost classifies itself as a utilitarian product because you could do so much with a bungee cord. Like
Yeah.
we've teamed up with
We
OK
call them bungee hacks. You know what I
Bungee
mean?
Hacks.
Where
Totally.
they're unconventional uses for a bungee cord, especially an adjustable strap, because of its versatility and all the different things it can do. You can see tons of examples of our bungee hacks on our social media. You know, use it.
Cool.
I had to replace a pool hose. I use it to hold the pool hose up. It's just all sorts of cool things.
What is the website, social media? Like give us all those things, Steve.
Yes, theperfectbungee.com and at the perfect bungee on all social media. YouTube, it's the perfect bungee OG,
Nice.
original gangster. And
Nice.
yeah, it's just the perfect bungee everywhere.
So we're kind of at time. We've been doing this for about 45 minutes ish roughly now. Um, so to kind of wrap this up, and we're gonna have Steve on some more because we have other products we make. We have dog toys we make. We have ratchet straps that we also make. And maybe for that, maybe we'll try to pull Fred in. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be kind of cool. So Fred used to own Shockstrap before we bought Shockstrap. So he's got a long, long history of knowledge with ratchet straps and the Shockstrap company and what sets it apart and kind of how it went from A to B to C, right? And let's say we're
Yeah,
C. So it'd
yeah,
be really cool to try to see if we can pull Fred in on that. But kind of to close out the episode here, and thanks Steve for jumping on and
yeah, no
talking to us.
problem.
But at the end of the day, the Perfect Bungee is an American made product. We're
100%.
we're stoked to make it here in the US. These nylon glass beaded hooks even say made in USA on them. We make
Yeah,
them
they're made
here in
too. All
Alpha.
of the hooks, yeah, even the hooks are made in the US. The poly, the hooks, metal, the and the nylon
So
hooks.
the metal wire that these hooks are made out of is sourced here in the US.
Yeah,
We have a machine over here in Building C that makes these hooks, that
yeah,
forms and bends these hooks and cuts them off. Um, Even our mold tools, the mold tools are made here. So when we think about all the people that have touched one bungee cord, it's
yeah,
amazing. And they're all here. And when you buy this product, and I'm not saying this because we have of course we have a financial gain if you buy one. Of course we do. Like, duh. But it's bigger than that.
yeah,
We're able to keep people fed, keep people living their lives and having a level of lifestyle because people continue to buy these products. And it's not just us here at Builderflex. It's everyone else who's put a little bit of energy into getting the metal, making the nylon, the glass bead, the polyurethane and all the subcomponents, the
yeah,
packaging. The
yeah,
packaging's even made in USA.
yeah,
So it's just so important that I believe it's just so important that when you go to the store and you've got two products on the shelf and maybe one's made in USA and the other one's not, and it's like a dollar, $2 more, just like if you can truly afford that a little bit of a price difference, know that it's truly benefiting everybody who put a little bit of energy into getting that product to you here in the US.
hmm
And I think
definitely.
that's so important. And I just feel like we need to highlight that more and more and more and continue to tell the story about, hi, my name's Bob and I work at X. And thank you for supporting us.
Yeah,
Thank you for supporting me and my family and my kids or grandkids, etc. It's just so important. So you can always go out and buy these cheaper products that are made elsewhere, but they're probably coming from Asia where we know that they don't care about regulations. They don't really care too much about environment, right?
hmm
We're wasting so much fuel and emitting so much um, just
Pollution.
pollution into the air and into the water just by bringing these products over
Yeah.
from Asia. And we know that they may not be made in the best conditions for the people.
Yeah.
And the people that own those companies probably don't have their employees' backs. So just be mindful. Steve, any like thing you want to say else about the perfect bungee and these bungee cords?
Just thanks for giving us an opportunity to talk about the differences and benefits and features of our products,
Steve, where
and
can we
highlighting.
find all the bungees right now? Like talk to us about where they're
Yeah,
available
so
right
we've
now.
got, I mean, obviously the internet, a lot of people like to go on, but when you're out and about and you're in the stores, that's a big support for us too, through all of our dealers and vendors. So, some of the big guys, you can find us in Home Depot, you can find us in Lowe's, as I previously mentioned, Walmart, Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, Dick's Sporting Goods, Academy Sporting Goods and Outdoors. Um, yeah, then your industrial tool supply catalogs. If you've got a factory or a place, you can get us through Granger, McMaster, Global Industrial. We've got a wide reach of networks where you can find our products and support us.
Awesome. Awesome. So this is it for episode one of this podcast. And we're super excited to have brought you this episode today and talk about the perfect bungee. We should have some more episodes coming out soon. Steve, thank you so much for your time today. I know
Thank
you're
you,
really
Adam.
busy. I know you got a ton of stuff you need to get to. So thanks again, man. Appreciate it. And Kyle's here.
Thanks.
Kyle's in the room. Kyle was just say hi, Kyle.
Hey, thanks, Kyle.
Kyle's running all that AV stuff. So yeah, he's here hanging out, listening. So thank you
Thank you.
and talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.